Here is 101 fascinating facts about the Earth. The Earth hums quietly to itself at a frequency of about 7.83 Hz, a natural electromagnetic resonance known as the Schumann resonance, and though inaudible to our ears, some believe this ancient planetary heartbeat has subtly synchronized with life for millennia, creating an unseen rhythm that pulses gently beneath our every step and every breath. Beneath your feet, there is a hidden ocean of water trapped in a mineral called ringwoodite, buried 400 miles deep within the Earth's mantle, and it may hold more water than all the surface oceans combined, slumbering silently in crystal form like an ancient secret waiting patiently, untouched by time or tide. Our blue planet is not perfectly round, but gently squished to the poles and bulging softly at the equator due to its rotation, forming a shape known as an oblate spheroid, so that if you could run your hand along Earth's surface from pole to pole, you would feel the subtlest of planetary curves under your fingertips. In the emptiness of Antarctica, where the air is still and the silence almost spiritual, there lies a waterfall that flows blood red, called Blood Falls, and its haunting color comes not from violence, but from iron-rich ancient water locked away for millions of years and oxidizing only now as it touches the light of day. If Earth were shrunk to the size of a billiard ball, it would be smoother than the ball itself, despite the vastness of mountains and depths of ocean trenches, revealing just how minuscule even the tallest peaks and deepest canyons are in the context of our planet's immense and elegant roundness. There's a place in the Pacific Ocean known as Point Nemo, so remote that the closest humans to it are often astronauts orbiting above in the International Space Station, making it a place of haunting isolation. Earth's magnetic field is not stable, and every few 100,000 years, it flips, north becomes south, and compasses would spin confusedly if they existed then. Yet life carries on through these geomagnetic dances, as if the planet is quietly turning itself inside out in a slow-motion pirouette over the ages. Deep within the Amazon rainforest, certain fungi can infect insects and take over their minds, guiding them like puppets to perfect positions before sprouting from their bodies. Proof that even in Earth's most verdant, life-filled corners, nature can be as eerie and calculating as it is beautiful and lush. Every year, Earth gains about 40,000 tons of space dust, tiny meteoroids and cosmic particles that drift silently down through the atmosphere and settle upon mountaintops, oceans, and rooftops, sprinkling the world with whispers from the stars that fall invisibly through the night. There's a hidden gravity hole in the Indian Ocean near Sri Lanka where gravity is significantly weaker, causing sea levels to dip mysteriously low compared to surrounding regions, an unseen sag in Earth's mass, still being studied like a soft dent in the planet's invisible fabric. Earth's atmosphere is leaking into space. Bit by bit, molecules like hydrogen and helium drift out into the void, slowly escaping the planet's grasp, as if Earth is exhaling softly into the cosmos over billions of years, sending traces of itself drifting into the stars. Lightning strikes the Earth around 8 million times a day, each flash hotter than the surface of the sun, and yet most people never see more than a flicker. Each bolt is a reminder of the sky's power, a brilliant whisper from clouds carrying ancient energy dancing briefly in the stormy air. In a forest in Poland, a mysterious patch of pine trees grows with a strange, almost whimsical curve at their base, bending sharply before rising straight again. No one knows for certain why, though theories range from farming practices to gravitational oddities, making it one of Earth's gentlest, most beautiful enigmas. The solid inner core of Earth, made mostly of iron and nickel, is as hot as the surface of the sun, yet it remains solid due to the crushing pressure of the layers above it, a glowing heart that pulses in total darkness, holding the warmth of the planet in still silence. On Earth, the longest mountain range is not the Andes or the Himalayas, but the mid-ocean ridge, a vast underwater spine stretching more than 40,000 miles through the oceans, hidden from sight beneath the waves, where new crust is born and the planet is slowly remaking itself with every passing second. There is a river beneath the Amazon River called the Hamza River, flowing silently and invisibly through layers of rock, stretching nearly as long but far wider, like a hidden ghost mirror of the surface world, carrying ancient waters through the dark underground veins of the Earth. Some desert stones in Death Valley move mysteriously on their own, leaving long trails behind them in the dust. Scientists now believe a rare combination of ice, wind, and ground moisture may be responsible, but their slow, silent journeys still feel like something from a dream. In certain caves, like those in Mexico's Nika mine, crystals grow so large they dwarf human beings, some stretching 30 feet long. Formed over hundreds of thousands of years in humid darkness, their silent growth a patient and shimmering testimony to the quiet artistry of the Earth itself. Earth's crust is divided into massive puzzle pieces called tectonic plates, and as they drift over molten rock, they can create earthquakes, mountains, and oceans. But they also move as slowly as fingernails grow, quietly shaping the face of the world in patient geological poetry. There's a spot in Canada where compasses don't work properly due to unusual magnetic anomalies caused by dense rock formations beneath the ground, creating an area where navigation becomes uncertain, and the invisible forces of the planet seem to subtly bend the rules of direction. Some trees, like the ancient bristlecone pines in California, have been alive for nearly 5,000 years. Older than the pyramids, older than written history, these gentle, wind-carved beings have seen ice ages pass and empires fall, standing watch in silence as the earth turned and time slipped by. In the Arctic, methane bubbles trapped under frozen lakes form mesmerizing white disks beneath the surface, and when lit by fire, they can burn blue in eerie silence, a natural phenomena that feels almost otherworldly, like watching the breath of the earth caught and set aflame. In a remote desert in Kazakhstan lies a deep, fiery crater known as the Door to Hell, where natural gas has been burning non-stop since 1971. A blazing wound in the earth that glows through the night, like a portal to something ancient, hot, and quietly eternal beneath the surface. There are underwater lakes and rivers on the ocean floor, formed by dense brine seeping out of seafloor cracks, and they flow with their own currents, shorelines, and even waterfalls, silent and surreal bodies of water within water, untouched by light, where the sea folds upon itself like a watery dream world. Some parts of Earth, like the Atacama Desert in Chile, are so dry that no rain has fallen for centuries. Yet life still manages to cling to the rocks in microscopic layers, thriving in silence and proving that the will to live runs deep even where the sky never weeps. Earth's slow wobble on its axis, called axial precession, takes around 26,000 years to complete a single cycle, subtly altering the position of stars in the sky over generations and reminding us that the heavens above shift as silently and gradually as the tides that lap the shores. Beneath California's surface lies the San Andreas Fault, a boundary between two massive tectonic plates that slide past each other, locked in a tense embrace that occasionally breaks with sudden jolts, an invisible tension that builds for decades beneath serene landscapes, only to be released in seconds. In the middle of the Sahara Desert lie the remains of ancient lakes, rivers, and even fish fossils, whispers from a time when the now harsh desert was a lush green savanna teeming with life, reminding us that Earth is always changing, even in places we imagine eternal. High in the Himalayan mountains, thousands of human skeletons are preserved in a glacial lake called Rupkund, discovered during thawing seasons, an ancient mystery possibly linked to a sudden hailstorm centuries ago, as if the sky once rained stones upon unsuspecting travelers and kept their secrets frozen in time. There's a place in Turkmenistan known as the Kawada Underground Lake, hidden in a cave system and warmed naturally by geothermal heat, allowing people to swim in warm darkness where bats nest overhead and minerals shimmer under faint lights like secret stars trapped beneath the surface. The Earth's atmosphere is like a paper-thin veil compared to the size of the planet. If Earth were a basketball, the atmosphere would be thinner than a sheet of plastic wrap. Yet this fragile layer of gases shields us from deadly radiation, cosmic impacts, and the biting cold of space. During the Cambrian period, over 500 million years ago, Earth experienced an explosion of life in the oceans, where bizarre creatures with eyes on stalks, feathery limbs, and armor-like bodies flourished for a time before vanishing, their fossils now telling stories from a time when life was still experimenting. In remote regions of Iceland, hot rivers flow across icy landscapes, forming strange boundaries where fire meets frost. Geothermal warmth bubbles up into freezing winds, and mosses, steam, and silence share the same space in perfect primal balance. There's an actual spot in the Pacific Ocean where you can stand with 1 foot in today and 1 foot in yesterday, as the international date line curves through islands and waters, allowing time itself to bend gently with geography, like Earth quietly playing with its own calendar. The Earth has a heartbeat measured through seismic waves. Even in the absence of earthquakes, these constant, low-frequency pulses echo through the planet and can be picked up by sensitive instruments, as if the Earth itself is gently breathing beneath our feet, unheard but ever present. In the sky above the polar regions, strange ribbon-like glows called Steve appear alongside auroras, named playfully by scientists before their cause was understood. This shimmering phenomenon glides silently through the night, pink and purple, and glowing like the laughter of the atmosphere itself. Lake Natron in Tanzania is so alkaline and rich in minerals that it preserves animals that die in it, calcifying their bodies into eerie, statue-like forms, its blood-red waters quietly transforming life into stillness, creating natural sculptures from what once flew or walked nearby. There's a vast network of caves in Vietnam called Sun Dome, large enough to hold skyscrapers and complete weather systems, where clouds form inside the cave itself and jungles grow in collapsed ceilings, a world within a world, hidden in darkness for ages and only recently explored by light. In deep trenches like the Mariana, the pressure is so immense it's equivalent to having 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of you. And yet, life still exists there, glowing softly in pitch black, creatures built for the crushing dark, living in the deepest corners of our shared planet. There's a spot in the Pacific Ocean called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch where currents trap plastic and debris in a swirling, silent spiral, so vast it's nearly impossible to clean, yet small enough in particle size to be barely visible from above, reminding us of the invisible threads we leave behind. At certain times, the Sahara Desert releases vast amounts of fine dust into the air, which travels across the Atlantic and fertilizes the Amazon rainforest, proving that even in silence, the deserts feed the forests, that the bones of one place can give life to another across oceans and ages. Earth's magnetic field helps shield us from solar winds, but occasionally it allows charged particles through, which interact with our atmosphere and create auroras, silent dances of light at the poles, where the sky quietly sings in green, pink, and violet hues. Here is the final installment of 101 strange, fascinating, and lesser-known facts about Earth, all longer than 60 words and written in a calming, soothing tone, perfect for whisper narration or black screen sleep content. There is a place in Ethiopia called the Danakil Depression, where sulfur springs bubble in neon colors and temperatures soar above 120 degrees Fahrenheit, making it one of the most unearthly places on Earth. Its alien landscapes and toxic pools echo what early Earth may have looked like billions of years ago. The Earth is constantly spinning at over 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, yet we never feel it, not because it isn't real, but because everything around us is moving with us in perfect synchrony, like an ancient carousel turning smoothly in the void, unnoticed but never still. At the deepest part of Earth, the core may spin independently of the rest of the planet, slightly faster or slower, a mysterious inner sphere inside the sphere, moving to its own rhythm, quietly turning within us like a ticking clock made of molten metal and pressure. In Finland and other Arctic regions, during the winter months, the sun doesn't rise for weeks, bathing the landscape in gentle twilight that feels like an endless dream, where time slows down and the days blend into nights in a calm blue silence. Earthquakes can cause the planet's mass to shift just slightly enough to shorten or lengthen a day by milliseconds, and powerful quakes can even shift the Earth's axis, reminding us that time itself is woven into the pulse of the ground we walk on. There are rocks in Death Valley called playa stones that seem to move across the desert floor on their own, leaving behind long tracks in the dirt. And though the movement is now attributed to thin layers of ice and wind, the site still feels like magic from a forgotten realm. In Bolivia lies the Sala de Uyuni, the largest salt flat on Earth, and when covered with just a thin layer of water, it reflects the sky perfectly, creating a vast mirror that blurs the line between heaven and earth, a breathtaking illusion of endlessness, quiet and unreal. In certain deserts, when conditions are right, flowers bloom all at once after years of dormancy, turning barren sandscapes into vast fields of color overnight, a phenomenon known as a desert superbloom, as if Earth is taking a deep, joyful breath after long sleep. The Amazon rainforest creates its own weather. Trees release water vapor through transpiration, which helps form clouds and rain, creating a self-sustaining system, an enormous, living engine of air and moisture, whispering through leaves and nurturing itself with every breath. The Earth's shadow can be seen during twilight as a purplish-blue band opposite the sunset, called the belt of Venus, a soft atmospheric illusion that gently reminds us of the planet's roundness and the lingering light of the sun beyond the curve. There are microorganisms called extremophiles that live deep in Earth's crust, miles beneath the surface, feeding on rocks and existing in total darkness. Living fossils that haven't seen light for millions of years, quietly surviving in a hidden world of pressure and stone. In northern Scotland, there's a place called Fingal's Cave with natural acoustics so unique that waves echo like whispers or music, and visitors often describe a sense of awe as if the earth itself is softly singing from the basalt columns carved by ancient lava. Mount Everest is not the farthest point from Earth's center. Because Earth bulges at the equator, the peak of Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador is actually the point farthest from the center of the planet, subtly redefining what it means to be the top of the world. In parts of Siberia, vast craters known as thermokarst pits are opening in the ground as permafrost thaws and releases methane trapped for thousands of years, silent reminders that Earth is breathing in new ways, and the ancient past is being stirred awake by warming winds. During the northern and southern lights, particles from the sun dance with Earth's magnetic field, creating waves of color and light that pulse in silent harmony with the skies above, celestial curtains swaying across the poles in perfect, fluid silence. There's a stone in Scotland called the Wishing Stone of Clochadric, believed to have healing properties by ancient peoples, and even today, visitors leave tokens and coins near its mossy base, hoping Earth will still listen to gentle wishes whispered through time. In the Indian state of Meghalaya, people grow living root bridges from fig trees, shaping and weaving them over decades to create walkways across rivers. Bridges that are alive, growing stronger with age, blending nature and human patience into quiet masterpieces. The Dead Sea is so dense with salt that people float effortlessly, and nothing large can live in its briny depths, yet tiny salt-tolerant microbes thrive there, proving that even in the harshest, driest corners of Earth, life finds its quiet, microscopic foothold. The Great Blue Hole in Belize is a massive underwater sinkhole that drops straight into the deep, a near-perfect circle filled with rich marine life and ancient stalactites, telling stories of sea level changes thousands of years ago, in silence beneath the waves. The Sahara Desert, now the hottest desert on Earth, was once a lush savanna filled with rivers and hippos, and cave paintings of swimming people still remain, etched evidence of a greener Earth hidden beneath centuries of sun and sand. There's a hidden forest beneath the sea in Australia, an ancient petrified forest preserved in salt water, now home to fish and corals, where tree trunks lie sideways like memories frozen under the waves. In the deep ocean, volcanic vents called black smokers gush out mineral-rich water hotter than boiling point. Yet life swarms there in abundance, proof that sunlight is not the only giver of life on this strange and diverse Earth. Some caves contain rocks called moon milk, soft and white, believed to be formed by bacteria slowly dissolving limestone over centuries, creating gentle, silky mineral formations that feel as if the cave itself were exhaling in still, mineral breath. If you traveled into Earth's atmosphere at just the right speed and angle, you could skim along it like a skipping stone on water, touching space while still feeling the planet's gentle pull, riding the edge between here and the stars in a quiet glide. And finally, every atom in your body was forged in ancient stars and reassembled here on Earth, meaning you are quite literally made of stardust, an echo of galaxies long gone, now whispering through you, through trees, oceans, and mountains, all of us part of Earth and Earth part of everything. In the far north of Alaska, the sun doesn't set for nearly 3 months during summer, bathing the land in continuous golden light, where shadows stretch endlessly and time seems to melt into one long, lingering day, while in winter, darkness cradles the landscape for just as long, wrapping it in silence and deep cosmic quiet. There's a place called Lake Hillier in Australia where the water is bright pink, not because of any dye or trick of light, but due to the presence of salt-loving microorganisms that tint the water naturally, creating a bubblegum-colored lake that defies expectations and seems more like a dream than a real piece of Earth. Some of the oldest rocks on Earth are found in Canada, dating back over 4 billion years, ancient, silent witnesses to the formation of the continents, the boiling seas, and the cooling crust, holding within them the memory of a planet just learning how to breathe and balance life upon its trembling skin. Beneath Antarctica's miles-thick ice sheet, vast mountain ranges and subglacial lakes remain hidden from human eyes. Buried continents and flowing waters that haven't seen the sky in millions of years, resting quietly beneath the coldest place on Earth, untouched and undisturbed by the warmth of the sun. In the Namib Desert, mysterious rings called fairy circles, the ground for miles, perfect, barren circles of sand surrounded by vegetation, their origins still debated, with theories ranging from termite activity to plant competition, making the landscape feel like a coded message from the Earth itself. The Earth rings like a bell after large earthquakes, sending low-frequency vibrations through the planet for hours or even days, a deep and invisible resonance that can only be heard by instruments, as though the planet mourns or speaks softly to itself in ancient seismic lullabies. There is a tree in South Africa known as the Tree of Life, a baobab that has survived for over 6,000 years, outliving empires and ice ages, storing water in its swollen trunk and sheltering animals and humans alike, a wise, living monument to the patience and resilience of nature. In Greenland, ancient ice cores have revealed trapped air bubbles from hundreds of thousands of years ago, preserving Earth's past atmospheres in tiny frozen capsules, time machines made of ice, with a very breath of mammoths and ancient forests waits in stillness beneath layers of snow. A single teaspoon of soil contains more living organisms than there are people on Earth. Tiny, unseen worlds full of life and balance, where bacteria, fungi, and microscopic creatures build and recycle endlessly, turning death into life again beneath our feet, unnoticed and immeasurably important. There's an enormous patch of slow-moving lava under Yellowstone National Park, known as a supervolcano, and while it sleeps now, its past eruptions changed global climates and reshaped landscapes, reminding us that beneath peaceful meadows and geysers lies the potential for the Earth to awaken in fire. The sound of the ocean inside a seashell is not the ocean itself, but the amplified resonance of your own blood flowing in ambient air around you. Yet it feels like Earth letting you hold a memory of the sea in your hands, whispering the illusion of waves into your ears. The Andes Mountains are still rising, even now, due to the slow but constant collision of tectonic plates, a gentle, persistent uplift measured in millimeters per year, as if the mountains are quietly reaching for the stars, grain by grain, across eons of patient pressure. A bolt of lightning can heat the air around it to over 30,000 degrees Celsius, 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Yet its blinding brilliance lasts less than a second, disappearing before you can even truly see it, like a flash of Earth's hidden power revealing itself just long enough to vanish. Deep in the ocean, there are fish that create their own light through bioluminescence, glowing softly in total darkness to attract mates, confuse predators, or illuminate prey, beautiful, drifting stars of the sea, where the night sky has sunk to swim quietly in salt and shadow. There is a permanent thunderstorm called Catatumbo lightning that occurs almost nightly over Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela, sometimes striking the same area thousands of times in one evening. An atmospheric ballet of sound and light that has danced in the sky for centuries, illuminating the clouds in ghostly flashes. In Japan, the ground occasionally rises in a rare natural event called earthquake flowers, where certain seeds lie dormant underground for decades, only blooming after seismic activity disturbs the soil, flowers that awaken only when the earth shivers, turning destruction into sudden beauty. Some rocks on Earth are so magnetized they can cause compass needles to spin or point away from true north, especially in areas rich in iron or volcanic basalt, subtle evidence that the Earth carries secrets in stone, shaping the very tools we use to explore her. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way, with estimates suggesting over 3 trillion trees growing across the globe, each one filtering air, storing memory in its rings, and offering shelter to life, like ancient sentinels standing in quiet solidarity with time itself. In certain salt deserts, like Bolivia's Sala de Uyuni, the air becomes so still and the reflection so perfect that the horizon disappears, creating the illusion of walking through clouds or standing inside the sky itself, a place where up and down, real and dream cease to matter. During certain times of year, Earth's orbit takes it closer to the sun, not in summer, but actually during the northern hemisphere's winter, proving that our seasons are caused not by distance, but by the gentle tilt of the planet's axis, a cosmic lean that shapes every blossom and snowfall. Even on the calmest days, The ocean's tides are still being pulled and pushed by the moon's gravity, a relationship so ancient and consistent that it has guided sailors, sculpted coastlines, and stirred life for billions of years, as if Earth and Moon are locked in a slow, beautiful gravitational waltz. In the vast deserts of California and Nevada, rocks mysteriously glide across the sand, leaving behind long trails, a phenomenon caused by rare combinations of ice, water, and wind. But when you see them in the stillness of day, it feels as though they've been touched by unseen hands. There is a sound called the earthquake boom that can sometimes be heard before a quake is felt, a low, thunder-like rumble that moves faster than the shaking ground, an eerie herald of the Earth's motion, whispering its warning in deep, unsettling tones. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was minus 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit in Antarctica, so cold that breathing without protection can freeze your lungs and even your eyelashes can snap off. An inhospitable realm where the air itself can turn to ice, holding the silence of the planet in its purest, frostbitten form. Earth is the only known planet where fire can burn, because it uniquely has free oxygen in its atmosphere, meaning the crackling warmth of campfires, candles, and lightning strikes is a phenomenon not seen anywhere else, a flickering testament to the breath of the planet. In parts of the ocean, whirlpools called maelstrom can form, powerful rotating currents that spiral with mesmerizing force, drawing water and debris into circular motion, though often silent and unseen unless you're nearby, like the Earth briefly exhaling through a watery sigh that turns tides into swirling sculpture. In the deep caves of Lechuguilla in New Mexico, bacteria have been found that have never been exposed to sunlight or modern antibiotics, evolving in isolation for millions of years, a living world in pure darkness, untouched by humans, silently thriving beneath the Earth's quiet surface. The Earth's atmosphere extends far beyond what we can see. Some particles reach past the moon, slowly thinning into space without a clear boundary, so when we look up, we're not just seeing the sky, but standing within the edge of Earth's invisible breath, drifting gently toward the stars. In a remote part of Siberia lies Lake Baikal, the deepest freshwater lake on Earth, containing 20% of all the unfrozen freshwater on the planet. Its depths hold ancient species found nowhere else, and its surface sometimes sings with ice that cracks like chimes echoing through the frozen air. Some volcanoes erupt not with lava, but with blue flames, like those in Indonesia's Kawah Ijen crater, where sulfuric gases ignite upon contact with air, creating glowing, ghostly blue fire that flows eerily through the darkness like a living ribbon of light in the night. The Earth's inner core may be rotating at a different speed than the outer layers, creating internal friction and magnetic variations, as if the very heart of the planet is moving to its own ancient rhythm, independent and steady beneath the chaos of earthquakes, seasons, and storms. In northern Norway, during the midnight sun, the sun doesn't set at all for several weeks, casting golden light even at 2 a.m., and people walk, fish, and picnic under the glowing sky as if time has forgotten how to sleep, basking in Earth's quiet tilt toward warmth and wonder. In deserts like the Mojave, there are rocks that bloom, rocks coated in a dark outer skin called desert varnish, due to chemical reactions with the air and microorganisms, creating natural artwork on stone that changes slowly over hundreds or thousands of years. In Australia's outback lies a mysterious wave-shaped rock called wave rock, formed by erosion over 2.7 billion years. Its frozen crest towers silently, like the memory of a vanished ocean swell, paused mid-motion by time, reminding us how slowly the Earth sculpts its poetry in stone. A single bolt of lightning contains enough energy to toast 100,000 slices of bread, and yet it often discharges all its force in less than a second, striking the Earth like a celestial exclamation point before disappearing as if it never existed, pure, momentary energy from sky to soil. The Earth's rotation is slowly slowing down, by about 1.7 milliseconds per century, meaning that millions of years ago, a day was just over 22 hours long, and millions of years in the future, days will stretch longer still, like the Earth is taking deeper, slower breaths as it ages. Some deep-sea creatures, like the barrel-eye fish, have transparent heads and tubular eyes that point straight upward, allowing them to see prey silhouetted against the faint light above, glowing like spirits in the dark, suspended in an ocean world that never sees the sun. A tree called the pando in Utah appears as a forest, but is actually one single organism connected underground by a vast root system. Considered the largest and possibly the oldest living thing on Earth, it has cloned itself into thousands of trunks, all whispering from the same ancient self. In the air around you, dust from distant deserts, volcanoes, and even other planets floats invisibly, tiny cosmic remnants that settle silently onto your skin, your home, your garden, carried by winds that don't know borders, connecting you physically to the farthest places and stories on Earth. Some underground caves contain rivers of liquid sulfur, so acidic that they could dissolve metal, yet life still exists around them, in the form of specialized bacteria that survive without sunlight or oxygen, feeding instead on chemical reactions and proving that life can bloom in even the harshest of shadows. There are living rocks, called lithops or stone plants, which mimic the appearance of pebbles to avoid being eaten, thriving in deserts where water is scarce. They blur the line between mineral and life, blending so perfectly into their environment that nature itself plays a quiet game of disguise. The phenomenon known as earthshine occurs when sunlight reflects off Earth and faintly illuminates the dark side of the moon, allowing us to see the full outline of the moon even when only a crescent is directly lit, Earth gently lighting her companion in the sky with borrowed light. In Greenland, glaciers can move at surprising speeds, with some surging up to 300 feet in a day, massive rivers of ice creeping steadily toward the sea, grinding rock beneath them and reshaping entire valleys in silence, like slow, frozen waterfalls cascading over centuries. On certain calm, windless days near sand dunes, you may hear a deep humming or booming sound known as singing sand, caused by grains rubbing and bouncing together in perfect unison, creating a soft, natural drone that seems to come from beneath the earth itself. In Chile's Atacama Desert, rain is so rare that some places have never recorded any. Yet even here, life exists. Microscopic algae, lichen, and insects surviving in crevices and salt flats, proving that even in Earth's harshest environments, persistence can flower without petals. Sometimes after a volcanic eruption, lightning storms form within the ash clouds, crackling with energy as charged particles collide. This volcanic lightning turns an already dramatic eruption into a spectacle of fire and storm, as if earth and sky are arguing in a voice made of sparks and smoke. There are caves in Mexico where crystals are so enormous they dwarf humans, some stretching 30 feet long, growing quietly for 500,000 years in warm, mineral-rich waters before being discovered, slumbering in the dark like sleeping giants made of pure light. And finally, if you were to compress Earth's 4.5 billion year history into a single calendar year, all recorded human history would happen in the final few seconds of December 31st, meaning we are impossibly recent guests on this ancient, living world, walking upon the shoulders of deep time.